Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of the Greentech Breakfast from the Greentech Alliance. The Greentech Alliance is a global community of startups that are transforming climate awareness into action. We have so far over 500 members, and the format of our new Greentech Breakfast chat is to tell you the news that's coming from the Greentech Alliance and also to introduce one of our members. So today we're here with Colin Higgs from GreenKode. My name is Emma Patmore. I'm one of the co-founders.
And my name is Simon Thies. I'm also one of the co-founders.
Great. So first up, the first piece of news from this week is a new partnership that we have with one of our members. They are called the Climate Marketplace. And their solution is solving the problem that all startups have, and particularly green tech startups have, which is access to funding. So on the marketplace, startups who are seeking funding can list their companies. It's like an online platform, and they can list companies, they can give the details of the funding, and then they get visibility of over 1,500 investors in VCs who are looking specifically to invest in green tech businesses. Usually it costs €100 for these startups to list their funding, so that's €100 per month. But we have got a deal, of course, for our green tech members, and every member in the Greentech Alliance can get 10% off, and also the first members who sign up for this, the first 20 members, can get 20% off that. So we'll be launching more details of this, and you can also reach out to Julian Swinkels on the Slack platform, who can also give you more information about this. I'll pass over to you, Simon, for the next piece of news.
Great. I will talk a little bit in the form about our new partnership with Positive Beer. Positive Beer is a company, or basically a campaign to bring climate neutral beer to you. And first place, we are launching a campaign together where a startup from our community can basically win a kickstart of €5,000 or a mini billboard campaign to be featured in the first shipment, in the first batch, which will then be distributed to all people who support the first batch. This is super excited. We share the links where you can apply and also order and support that campaign. Yeah.
Great, thanks. Yeah, it's really easy for startups to apply. You just have to record a 60-second video of yourself explaining what you're doing, your startup, and then share it on either your LinkedIn or Instagram channels and tag Positive Beer in it. And then you get the chance to win one of those really great prizes, which can, I think, really support especially early stage startups. Next thing that we've got going on, so many of you know that we are partnering with another one of our members who are called For Purpose Jobs. They have a job platform which is really focused on finding great candidates for companies in climate action and also social justice companies. And we have a partnership with them where you can put your jobs on the platform, and then they get extra visibility because they're linked directly from the Greentech website, from the Greentech Alliance website, sorry. And you also get more visibility on the For Purpose Jobs platform. So it's just a really, really good way to get the positions out there, because of course, this is another really big challenge for many startups. The way to do that is on the Slack channel. You can find out if you go into jobs, you can check the pinned post. It's really, really easy to post your positions there. And I would check anyone that's looking for a green tech job to really go and check out the positions there. There are so many. There's some from Plan A, from Better Fish, from loads and loads of the startups that we have in the community. And for anyone that's looking to transition into a climate job, I think that's a great place to start. Finally, the last thing that I have is that this week we will be putting out our monthly newsletter. So all of the news, opportunities, events and things that we have going on in the Greentech Alliance are in this newsletter. If you are a member, then you can also share your news by checking out the pin posts into your news on the Slack channel. And if you're not a member and you want to find out exactly what's happening in the Greentech Alliance, then please do head over to www.greentech.earth, and then you can sign up for the newsletter there. I think that's all the news that we've got for this week. Unless you have anything else, Simon, and then we can move on to our...
No, that's it. So please support us and order some positive beer. That's my take on it. It's pretty delicious, I've heard.
Yep, great. So really excited to have Colin Higgs on today. Colin is from the UK startup GreenKode, but I will pass over to you, Colin, to introduce yourself and the company more.
Yeah, I'll be quite brief. We are a Cornish business. We started from an entrepreneurship degree about a year ago, and we had a proposition to try to monitor food waste in the UK, and then we've been building this proposition for the last year, since last April. So we designed smart IoT waste solutions to reduce food waste streams in commercial kitchens in real time. What that means is that we built an intelligent computerized domestic weighing scale, and it sits at the bottom of different food waste bins. Each of those food waste bins will be monitoring a specific type of food waste. It would either come from the kitchen or from the customers. There could be up to 3 or 4 different bins. And each hour we monitor the weight of those waste streams, and we send it to a cloud backend, which we then actually show that waste in very discrete, simple graphics that they can act on in real time. So we can correlate their waste with their menus. We can show how much money they're throwing in the bins. We can also show how much CO2 they're creating. We can show a lot of different metrics, which we hope we can push and nudge them in real time to change their behavior. Obviously, the less food waste that goes in the bins, the more profitable the businesses are. But obviously, they're also doing an environmental benefit for everyone as well. So there are 2 aspects of the business. One's pure profit, whereby less waste is more profitable business. And the other one is obviously less waste means less waste of resources, and also less environmental waste as well. So that's what we're doing. We target our waste on businesses that don't have any tools available for them. So we're looking at small businesses and medium businesses. We are making our tools as cheap as we can because we want to have impact. That's what we're looking for. And that's, at the moment, we're rolling out our businesses into about 6 different companies in the UK. So that's what we're doing. Or just to give you some very simple figures that not everyone might not be aware of. In Europe, 88 million tons of food are wasted every year at a cost of 143 billion euros. So it's quite substantial. Every year, 1.3 gigatons. I'll explain what a gigaton is because it's not obvious. So 1.3 gigatons of edible food is wasted in the world, which releases 3.3 gigatons of CO2. A gigaton is basically 1,000,000 metric tons. It's something beyond, you can't even imagine how big it is. So this is a huge problem. We're trying to have, we're creating tools which are as cheap as possible. We're looking at the underserved market because in my own country, they've got no ability to monitor their food waste in real time. In England, by 2023, all businesses will have to monitor their food waste by law. We're actually creating the law, so it's kind of symbiotic to the way that the country's going, and that's basically where we are at the moment. Thank you.
Yeah, the scale of the food waste problem is so big, and then also considering the fact that in the near future. And I mean, already in many countries now, there's a lot of struggle to actually get enough food, and then this problem will also only be exacerbated over the coming years. So I think that all initiatives in the food waste space are really, really important. And what you said before about combining this with an economic benefit, it's not just that people are doing something good, but it's something that really helps their business. I think that's also really, really important to make sure that these solutions are actually scalable.
Thank you.
Do you believe, in terms of your business model, that the political framework is a key driver to make what you do a solution that companies demand, or do you see that everyone would just jump at it just because they know it's something we have to tackle? What's your take on that, and how do you position your company?
Yeah, I say, Simon, that's one of the best questions I've ever been asked. It's a really good question. I'm being very serious as well. Yeah. England is a country whereby, I'm generalizing, but we're a country whereby if it's not legislated and it's not law, if it's something that legally we don't have to do, we'll probably avoid doing it if we can. That's the kind of country in general we are. However, having said that, there's also the other side of England, whereby there is a very healthy, strong environmental movement in England as well, whereby there are commercial kitchens which are aligned with us as well. So there's a combination of the two. Basically, I really don't think there's a two-part to this answer as well. I really don't think anything will really dramatically change until the law is aligned with what we're doing as well. I really don't believe there'd be a humongous change. However, by making tools available, which may be the cost of, eventually the cost of an internet service, in other words, something which they're not even going to worry about in terms of the cost in incorporating that into their business. That's what we're aiming for, and we see that as really good leverage for them to use our tools as well. It's the combination of two things. The other thing is home waste is approximately 8 times bigger than commercial waste, and it's the biggest problem in the world is home waste as well. I'd say in America it's a little bit different. I'd say corporately in America, 40% of their food just gets thrown away, full stop. So it's just a complete mess in America. But I'd say in most European countries, I'd say the commercial kitchens are very aligned with saving money because of COVID, because of the restrictions on their business. And it's a healthy time to introduce something that's going to help them monitor their kitchens, which are going to make them more profitable because they need all the money they can get. In terms of real substantial value, what you said, Simon, is really critical. I think because the worst part of food waste is at home, unless we get into a situation whereby people are actually paying for their food waste to be taken away every week, whereby you have to weigh it or something like that, and you have to put it in a special bin and get a ticket. Unless we do have that kind of system, which is incorporated in South Korea, I don't think the situation is going to be a very slow trickle effect. I don't think it's going to be a dramatic change until we change politically the way that we are accountable for our waste. So great question, and thank you.
That's a great answer. Yeah, I see that a penalty-driven framework wouldn't do the trick, but we do need the political and legal framework also to foster these solutions. Otherwise, I mean, Emma and I live in Berlin. I'm German, and if you say people only do what's basically mandatory, that also applies to Germany. So if somebody doesn't put it in a legislation, it probably won't happen. Yeah.
I'd say I'd recommend all the listeners to have a look at South Korea. They reduced their home waste. I think it's gone down by, I'm guessing, but I think it's about 90%. They reduced it in 3 years by changing the political system, whereby instead of, in my country, we have something called like the council tax, whereby it's you have to pay a tax every year for the council to take away your waste. In South Korea, they changed that system whereby for your waste specifically, you would have to pay for it every week, and you would have to get a ticket for it to be taken away. And they've got rid of nearly 90% of their home food waste, which is incredible. I think politically is the best answer for
motivation comes in different forms.
Yeah, and also another good example would be making plastics. All of the plastics that are in the sea are all branded, aren't they? They all come from a particular company. If the law changed whereby it was unlawful for a company to allow their actual products to eventually sit in the oceans, then we'd have a different situation if it was unlawful to do that. It's all a case of accountability, and having no accountability, we're all living a great life, but at the expense of our own environment, aren't we? So I think politically we definitely need political change. However, as I said, we do have a very healthy movement in England, whereby there are a substantial amount of businesses who are seeing the light and who do want to run their businesses in an ethical way. So it is changing as well.
Yeah.
I agreed.
So I have another question. You said timing or something. It's the right time. So where are you at your journey right now? And I believe that timing is of the essence for all of us who are sitting here, probably.
Yeah, I'd say we're a very small company, and we're an unusual company as well because we built our own solution. So I built the electronics for our smart weighing devices, and then they're in the second stage of manufacture, whereby we're using recyclable plastics, and I built the electronics. So it wasn't the traditional electronics where all the components are stuck onto the board. All of our components can be taken apart. So we're completely 100% recyclable in terms of if our product is damaged, all we got to do is replace the damaged component, and then we can reuse it again. It's not a throwaway, product at all. So we're basically at the stage where we are building our own products very locally, 7 miles from where I live. And then we are working with about 7 or 8 businesses around England who are going to have free access to these monitoring tools and dashboards. And we're going to work with them closely to show the testimonials and gravity of what we can achieve together.
That's really great that all of the components can be replaced. I think this is another thing that should also be made a legal requirement so that we're not constantly having to throw things away.
Well, to be honest, it's not most people make their boards, not being rude, but most people probably on a commercial level, most electronic boards are made in Asia, either China or Singapore or on that nature. And the boards that they got at the moment, they're made with machines whereby, you're just inserting the components and they're stuck, that they're glued there. So basically, if one component goes, how are you going to fix that board? So basically, it's I think everyone should be thinking about the waste of resources. I mean, you're going to waste a whole board for one small component. It doesn't really make that much sense. From a practical point of view, we can't, our machines, because we're not high scale, because our machines are made by hand, they're made by people, they're quite expensive as well. So we can't afford to throw away a machine either, because we don't have that resource. So if it's just a case whereby we find this was the cause of the machine not working, we can take out that single component and just replace it. And we can do that with all of our components in the board. So we're looking for something whereby it's going to minimize our repair costs and make us more economical as well.
Yeah, that's great. And what's something that is happening at GreenKode at the moment that you particularly want to share that's particularly exciting?
I'm not sure if it's exciting. I'm not sure if it's excitable, but we just got accepted for a European accelerator called the Data Market Accelerator Services. And basically it's for new techs. They accept 50 companies from around Europe. They received over 400 applications to join a 6-month program whereby you're getting one-to-one mentorship on using data legally, whereby obviously everyone's got data compliance and you've got to make sure that legally you are within that compliance. So that's really good for us. They're looking at protecting your physical IP as well. So we get IP protection. We also get introduced to fundraising for R&D and investors. And we also get data science training. So we see it as a good option for us to join it. It's called DMS Accelerator. So that's quite cool. I'd say that's probably the only exciting news we have.
No, that's definitely very exciting, and particularly around those areas of IP protection and also like data use. I think those are two areas which can be a bit of a minefield, and to be able to get support in the early stages is really good.
Yeah, I'd say, Emma, you're completely right. I'd say, being honest, I'd say what you've just mentioned, those two factors are probably our weakest knowledge. I don't have much knowledge about IP protection, whereby we could protect our IP without spending a huge amount of money. And also GDPR is quite a minefield as well, especially in England. So we need to definitely make sure that we are compliant as well.
Great. To be mindful of time, I have one last question. Simply, how can people find you?
Yeah, I'd say one of the beautiful things that we have done since we started is that we have a podcast called Zero Waste Code, which is on 8 platforms. And we introduce and interview 3 different businesses who are working in sustainability. Some of them are hospitality businesses. Some of them are new tech companies from Germany. So we interview all around Europe, and we disseminate new information that could be of value to other businesses for collaboration or of some use in some way. So Zero Waste Code is a good way of getting us. It's on the main platforms of Spotify, Anchor, and obviously Apple have their own podcast as well. Code is spelt the German way with a K. And lastly, our website is greenkode.net, and code is the German spelling as well. So that's it.
Fantastic. We can also share the links to that.
Thank you.
Down below. Great. Awesome. And thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Colin. It's been really, really interesting.
Thank you for the opportunity. And Simon, that question was one of the best.
Okay, thank you.
Because people don't understand the issue. They really don't understand that if people aren't politically forced to do something, they just won't do it. There are people who are environmentally conscious. I'd say the younger generation have far more gravity in that area, but I'd say the majority of the problem in England are by people who've been doing something their whole life, and it's very difficult for them to actually make change at this stage of their life. And unless there's some political motivation, some new laws to do it, I just don't see any radical change.
Yeah.
So thank you, Simon. Brilliant question.
Yeah, thank you too, Colin. It was really insightful and great to have you here.
Yeah, and I really do enjoy what you guys are doing, and look forward to the YouTube channel that you're creating. I think it's wonderful. So thank you.
Thanks very much. Have a great week.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.